Tonight we'll be informing residents and neighbors about the city's efforts to maximize risk of lead by launching the new corrosion control system in the Pequannock water treatment system, as well as how we're modernizing the city's water infrastructure through the lead service line replacement program and still offering the water filters and cartridges as a part of the deployment program. At this time, I'd like to just introduce our panel of experts, as I like to call them. Mayor Baraka, Acting Director Kareem Adeem of Water and Sewer Utilities, as well as Jerry Noddy, a consultant with the City of Newark. I'd just like to underscore a few things that we'll be discussing this evening. First and foremost, the city is making significant progress in a short period of time in the fight against lead. Last week, we announced a major new milestone that it launched important new upgrades to the Pequannock water treatment system, and that was the corrosion control. The Pequannock system will now use the same corrosion control that remains effective in the Wanacue system. We also are still deploying water filters and at locations throughout the city, and we will also continue to encourage you to sign up for the lead service replacement line program. There's already been over 36,000 water filters that have been distributed, and I forgot to remind you of how you can dial in if you'd like to ask a question. Please call 855-756-7520, and the conference ID number is 47630. Again, it's 855-756-7520. Conference ID number is 4793#. I do appreciate everybody for tuning in. We are on Facebook Live as well as on Altice Channel 78 and Fios Channel 28. If you have any questions, again, you can ask them through Facebook or you can call that number that I just mentioned. So without further ado, I'd like to hear from Acting Director of Water and Sewer Utilities, Kareem Adeem.
Good evening, everyone. Kareem Adeem, Department of Water and Sewer Acting Director. Just want to say last Tuesday at 10:30 a.m., we started introducing the food grade additive into the water, orthophosphate, to start putting a little coating on the pipes to prevent the leaching of lead from the lead service lines. We've also continued to replace lead services. To date, we've placed 200 lead services, over 200 lead services. You still can sign up for phase 2 by going on the northleadserviceline.com, right? And you can find out the information about how to sign up for future lead service replacement in your area if you have a lead service line, or if you're not sure if you have a lead service line. We're still going door to door. We've given out over 36,000 filters to date. We're still going door to door to catch some of those people that are still eligible that we may have missed. Our distribution centers are still open. Baldwin Street Recreation Center is still open from Tuesday through Friday between the hours of 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. On Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Vince Lombardi Centers of Hope in the North Ward is open from Tuesday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Saturday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. The JFK Recreation Center on West Kenny is open between Tuesday through Friday between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. On Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. St. Peter's Recreation Center on Lyons Avenue, also known as Bo Porter, is open from Tuesdays through Friday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. We also, the health department, you can pick up your filters between the hours of 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Monday through Friday. In our Central Avenue Water Department maintenance yard at 239 Central Avenue is open from Monday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So you can pick up a filter if you haven't had one. You can pick up a replacement cartridge at all those locations. The city, we're still aggressively open. Although we started introducing the new orthophosphate, that doesn't mean that right away the impact is right away. Water chemistry is very complex. It may take us anywhere from 6 to 8 months for us to start seeing the optimization and seeing lead levels drop throughout the city. By the end of the year, we're looking to see lead levels start to drop as this coating comes out and start coating the pipe. At this time, I'm turning it over to Jerry Noddy. He's our licensed operator, licensed water treatment plant operator, and our consultant, Kleinfeld. Mr. Noddy.
Thank you. As Kareem Adim has just suggested, that the water chemistry is somewhat complex. I have a dubious distinction because I was responsible for the Wanacue system introducing orthophosphate. So it's exactly the same technology that's being employed here, but it will take a certain period of time before this becomes effective. So if you look at your screens right now, you're seeing a pipe, and as time went on, the city's initial corrosion inhibitor, which was a very good one for a long period of time, started losing its effectiveness, and some of the lead started coming off of the inside of those pipes. As the corrosion inhibitor is introduced, and that's what you're seeing right now, it starts putting a passive layer, or a coating, if you will, on the inside of the pipe, protecting your drinking water so that none of that lead gets into solution and comes into your home plumbing and into your taps. So what you see here now is the finished product. Once that orthophosphate, again a food grade additive that's added to water to create that coating so that you would no longer have lead in your drinking water. Again, the chemistry, this is a fairly simple demonstration here, animation, but in reality this will take between 3 and 6 months to become fully effective. So in the short term, this next round of lead sampling in the next month or two may have elevated levels for a while, but as time goes on, those levels will drop out and eventually they'll be within the levels for a safe drinking water.
So I just want to add that the city is still offering free water testing, right? And we're still offering free lead service line inspections. To have your water tested, you should call 973-733-6303. 973-733-6303. Or email us at water and sewer. It's one word. Water and sewer at ci.newark.nj.us.
At this time, I'd like to just reiterate the number. If you do have a question and would like us to answer it over the phone, the number is 855-756-7520. The conference number is 47930 #. I'll show you. In case you're watching, it's 855-756-7520. Then the conference number is 4793 #. At this time, we'll hear from Honorable Mayor Ras Baraka.
Thank you. I just want to thank, the Acting Water and Sewer Director, Kareem Adim. I thank our, licensed water operator, Mr. Noddy, for the information they've been giving to people in the city. We have made considerable progress, as they said, in terms of the lead service line replacement. Over 200 lead service line replacements on target for 1,500 before this year is out. Corrosion controlling is already introduced into the water what I think also should be said is that this, in order for it to begin, we have to start flushing it into the system, right? So we flush it into a system. It may cause some issues in terms of discoloration with your water and things of that nature because we are flushing this into the system. You may need to let your water run in order for it to get back to the proper color. If you're having issues, if you're afraid of the discoloration, please call the water department. Again, 973-733-6303. But we are flushing it into the system, so I know people may be alarmed by that, but that's what's happening as we move forward. Now, I just want to thank everybody for being as cooperative as possible. We've given out over 30,000 water filters. We are replacing the cartridges now in many of the homes. People have been coming out, even folks who have not gone to the rec centers. We've been coming to your home to make sure you have these replacement cartridges. This is very, very, very important. Continue to do what you're supposed to do as the water filters, as the corrosion control is in the water and as we change the lead service lines, continue to use the filter until we, till these lead levels become low in such a way that the water is safe. And we will definitely inform the public when we think that is ample enough time to do that.
Thank you, Mayor Baraka. And at this time, we have some questions that have come in. I'll take the first question. Is from Facebook, Shakima. She asks, how long will it take for the corrosion control chemicals to bring lead levels all the way down?
So as I said earlier, Shakima, water chemistry is very complex. So we should start seeing levels reduce within 3 to 6 months, but we're looking towards the end of the year to see how levels reduce. It may take a little longer for it to totally optimize, right, and do the entire system. So robocall came out Friday evening, and over the weekend, the robocall's been coming out. It was letting you know that the city is going to be flushing its water system in the Pequannock area, the area that's affected, that we're introducing a new corrosion inhibitor in, and we're doing that between the hours of 10 and 3 in the morning, so we can have less impact on the homeowners, getting discolored water if that may come. So we're trying to, pull the inhibitor into the system, bringing water out, bringing fresh water in with the inhibitor. We're trying to bring that into the system in some of those areas. So every house is a little different, right, on how your level may be reduced. So we still want you to keep using the filter until we tell you otherwise. We still want you to change your replacement cartridges, and we'll notify you as the system optimizes.
So, Director Adeem, I noted earlier that the corrosion control was introduced to the Pequannock water system, and I've been getting questions. What's the difference between Pequannock water system versus the Wanacue? Can you explain to the residents the difference, or which one they may their home may be in or serviced by?
Sure. So if you live in the West Ward, parts of the North, South, and Central, you're serviced by the Pequannock water system. That's the Pequannock system. The city owns 100%. The city treats the Pequannock system 100% and sends water into the entire West Ward, parts of the North, South, and Central. The city is a partner in the North Jersey District Water Supply Commission and owns about 52 or 53% of the North Jersey District Supply System. And we serve the entire East Ward, parts of the North, South, and Central. So that would be the only difference. So now, prior to that, we used sodium silicate that was approved by the EPA and DEP. That started losing its effectiveness, we recently found out. And the Wanacue system used the orthophosphate. That's the new corrosion control that we're introducing now as of last week.
Appreciate it. We're going to go back to a phone question. This comes from Ms. Jackson, and you're going to get this question a lot. How long will the complete process take for having our levels stabilized?
So water, as I said previously, water chemistry is very complex. We're looking for, by the end of the year, to see that The lead levels are down. So we've been saying 6 to 8 months after we introduced the corrosion inhibitor for deoptimize, and you'll see your lead levels down. However, different households and piping, it may be different. You can be quicker, but that doesn't mean the entire system is quicker. So, your house can be, levels can be reduced, but it don't mean your neighbors down the street may be reduced.
I also want to make a point that I know there are a lot of residents waiting for the corrosion control to reduce the water levels, but I don't want you to use this as an excuse not to get your lead service line replaced. You should get your lead service line replaced. If you have a lead service line, you should get it replaced. The city is doing it. It's going to cost you a minimal amount of money. You should be involved in the program. Make sure you call the water department. If you've gotten a letter, send a letter back. Get your lead service line replaced. I'm going to get my lead service line replaced. Everybody in the city that has a lead service line should get it replaced, no matter what the orthophosphate does in reducing the lead levels. We should go ahead and get that done.
Another person on the phone, Mr. Simmons, stated he provided a sample and didn't get his results in from water and sewer. There's been no response. What should he expect?
So, Mr. Simmons, I don't know how long ago Mr. Simmons had his water tested, so it's not a test that's performed within a matter of 3 days. So after we take the water, it's a process, and it goes to the lab. So normally within 3 to 6 weeks, you'll have your results back. But prior to that, if you're eligible for a filter, you should pick up a filter and be using a filter if you're eligible for a filter. If you have a lead service line, you should sign up to have your lead service line replaced. If you're not sure, you can contact the water department at 973-733-6303. 973-733-6303. Or email us at water and sewer. One word, water and sewer at ci.norc.nj.us. Or you can go on to leadserviceline.com. NorcLeadServiceline.com. If you have access to email, and you can see if your house has a lead service line, and fill out the application to have your line replaced.
Thank you so much. Now, this question is from Mr. Moses Jr. It states he had a curbside leak and replaced the line. Does he need to have a service line replaced again?
So if you had I don't know which part of the line that Mr. Moses Jr. had, because he said he had a curb leak, so I don't know if he replaced the entire line or he had a partial replacement. So he should reach out to the water department at 973-733-6303.
And it takes how long for them to figure it out if you got a lead service line copy?
They'll come out and do an inspection within a matter of a day,
So how long does it take once they come out?
Once they come out and get back, or they'll tell them that day.
Right.
They'll tell you that day if you have a lead service line or not. So once they come out and do the inspection, they'll let you know if you have a lead service line coming from the curb to the meter or from the street to the curb. And if you do, we advise you, if you're eligible for a filter, you should pick up that filter at one of the locations. And you should also sign up to have your lead service line replaced. And those locations, just to remind you again, they're at all the rec centers. There's Baldwin Street Recreation Center, JFK Recreation Center, Vince Lombardi Centers of Hope, St. Peter's Recreation Center, aka Bo Porter, Hayes Park West Recreation Center, the water and sewer facility at 239 Central Avenue. So the recreation centers, you can pick it up Tuesday through Friday between the hours of 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. All the recreation centers between the hours of 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. Tuesday through Friday, and Saturdays at the recreation centers 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. The health department, 110 William Street, you can pick it up Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30. 110 William Street, the health department, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. or 239 Central Avenue for those of us that may get off work a little late, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Sunday. So the water department is open on our Central Avenue maintenance location a little longer. And don't forget to visit NewarkLeadServiceLine.com. Mr. Moses Jr., you can type in your address and they'll let you know if it's still registering that you have a partial lead service line. And we can call us to do that inspection. I would let us do that inspection. It's about 5 minutes. Takes 5 minutes.
Yes, thank you. And another caller, Mrs. Doherty, is asking why her water is coming out soapy. She lives in a senior citizen building on Springfield Avenue.
So, say that name?
Doherty.
Miss Doherty, you need to check in with your central maintenance in the building to find out if they're doing any type of repairs in the building that wouldn't come out soapy from the distribution system. And you need to make sure you change your aerator. Make sure you don't have any particles or anything that may be in your aerator that may needs to be cleaned.
What is that?
So typically in the water, the soapiness is something called surfactants, and the water department analyzes for that periodically. So in the water that's going into our pipelines, there is no soapiness to it. So Mr. Dean is exactly right. It's something within your localized system, within your building. That's what you need to take a look at and have your superintendent or whoever's responsible for that take a closer look at the system.
And
What's an aerator though?
right, yes.
Oh, the aerator is those little filters that we have on our sink. So, you know, we got the little screens, not filters, but it's the little screens that's on the sink, the kitchen sink. Sometimes you want to take it off
On the faucet.
on the faucet, take it off the faucet and dump it out and rinse it out and clean it out. A lot of us don't pay it no mind, but it's very important. My grandmother used to always do that when we were little. You know, get the pliers, or she used a tight cloth and just screw it off and clean it out. Collects a little bit of particles. But mainly when you, a lot of times when people experiencing discolored water, I just wanted to clarify this. It may be a variety of reasons. One reason, if it's a large fire in the area, right, it's a large demand of water, so the water may come out discolored. We'll say brown or rust colored, right? Because it's a large fire, it's a large demand. You can let the water run, and we tell people to open the bathtub because they got a big faucet. Let it run 3 to 5 minutes, it'll clear up. Another reason is if it's, you got to know if it's the hot water or the cold water. So if the hot water is coming out in that rust color, right, your hot water tank may be about to go, right? And people say, well, it's the cold water when I first turn it on, but then it clears up. Well, you know, when you turn on the hot water, because you turned it off, it just stopped coming out of the faucet. Doesn't mean it's still sitting in the pipe. So that first maybe 20 or 30 seconds, maybe just be pushing the old water that was in the pipe that was remaining stagnant. So it may be your hot water tank that's about to go, and you need to check that. The other thing, if the city is doing a major repair in your area, normally we notify people. We let them know we're working on your block. We ring your bells. We leave little notices that you may experience discolored water while we're out there working, right? So we try to notify you, but you're in a large building. We normally notify the maintenance or the front office or the security. Let them know that we're working out there.
Thanks. There's a lot of questions coming in from Facebook. And then we still have to watch that video. So Maurice from Facebook asked, when is the water lines being flushed? Well, when are the water lines being flushed?
So we're doing robocalls. We started last Friday. We're letting everyone know that we're flushing water lines between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. in the morning. And we're doing it after 9 because we don't want to interfere with people cooking, cleaning, coming home and take their showers. We want to have a minimum impact on you when we're doing that. So we're coming out at nighttime. We're not doing it in the daytime. We're coming out at nighttime. Several areas with our crews to flush the water.
And Michelle on Facebook asked, how long will the city of Newark supply the residents with replacement filters?
So we're supplying you with replacement cartridges, a year's supply. And you can pick those up, again, at all the recreation centers from Tuesday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., right? And that's Baldwin Street Recreation Center. Okay.
Thank you.
Or the health department on 110 William Street, Central Avenue location if you're getting home late, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Anne Marie on Facebook asked, how about people that the filter that we receive don't fit our faucets? So if she received a regular filter and it doesn't fit her faucet, what should she do?
So if you receive the regular filter and it don't fix your faucet, you got a snake head or gooseneck, or you got the uh, python head type of sink that swivels around, you need to bring the filter back over to our Central Avenue location, and they'll replace it with a picture, and also take a photo of the filter that you actually have, so we can match it up and see if you can get a picture. We can switch it out. And we're open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday.
The pitcher is a water pitcher. I have one because my sink is the same. So I have a water pitcher. You run the water in it, and it filters the water just like a water filter, but it's a water pitcher that you can pour water out of. But it filters the water in a pitcher, so you pour the water in it.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, that's the one I use.
Tiffany on Facebook says her home in the Central Ward is 14 years old and it has been lead free. Should she be worried with these new findings?
Well, Miss Tiffany, you already stated that your home is 14 years old and is lead free, meaning you have a copper line that's coming into your home.
So
The new findings,
actually old one.
or old findings. What we say, they're old findings.
Yeah.
We know that some people is affected. That's why we've always, from day one when we announced it, we said it don't affect everybody. Some people may be affected. So the ortho is just coming in to coat the pipes, the lead service lines, right? Lead from leaching, and with those pipes. She shouldn't be worried, but if she is anxious, she can have us come out, and we'll, retest her water for it if she needed, by contacting the water department at 973-733-6303.
And Darnell on Facebook asked, how is it that the entire city is not eligible for water filters?
So Darnell, this is not new, but the entire city isn't affected. So we have 2 treatment plants. We have 2 sources of water that comes into the city, one from the Pequannock system and the Wanacue system. The Pequannock system feeds the entire west, parts of the north, south, and central. The Wanacue system feeds the entire east, parts of the north, south, and central. The other reason why everyone is not affected, because everybody don't have a lead service line. Some people have copper lines. Some people live in large buildings that may have ductile iron lines, right? So it's a variety of different reasons why you may not be affected.
But you're certainly eligible to be tested.
Right.
You're eligible to be tested for lead service line. You're eligible to come out for us to come test your water. And then if there's high levels of lead, we give you a water filter. There has been no evidence that the orthophosphate in the Wanacue system is not working. So we continue business as usual on that side.
Shakima had another question. She asked, how will you make sure that all residents who are at risk have the information and resources they need to protect themselves?
Good question, Shakima. So one, like now we're doing an informational session with the Teletown Hall. We've been in the community knocking on doors since October, passing out literature. We've been doing mailings. We've been in the community having community meetings in all the wards, through your People's Assembly and also through whatever councilman that have a meeting or an event. We want to occupy the block. So the public education and reaching out to residents, the robocalls, we've constantly and been very, very adamant at getting the message out.
And we gave out 36,000 filters. So 36,000 households know there's a lead problem in the city because they're using a filter.
And so the fact that Shakima went on Facebook and asked that question, she's getting information right now that she can help spread.
Absolutely.
Truthful information.
Absolutely.
Right? To everyone that may not know. She can help us by spreading the word that the city is still giving out free filters and replacement cartridges, because it is a small group of people that hasn't picked up a filter, right? That we've been trying to reach out to get a filter, right? Or replacement cartridges. So Shakima can help us by spreading the word, let us know that the city's still doing it.
Yes, Shakima, please spread that positive message. And at this time, I just want to remind people, if you do have a question that you'd like answered this evening, dial in 855-756-7520. The conference number is 4793#. Again, 855-756-7520, and the conference number is 4793#. At this time, we're going to watch a video regarding the Newark Lead Service Line Replacement Program.
To reduce the risk of lead in residential drinking water. Privately owned underground service lines connect the city's water mains in the street to our homes and buildings. Sometimes, particularly in older homes, they may be made out of lead. In these instances, pregnant moms and young families are most at risk. That's why the city's program goes above and beyond the law, creating an 8-year, $75 million plan to permanently replace approximately 15,000 privately owned lead service lines across Newark. Under the program, the homeowner's out-of-pocket costs will be $1,000 or less. To get started, residents should visit www.newarkleadserviceline.com to determine if your home has a lead service line and apply for the next phase of construction. The city has contracted with an engineering firm to oversee and manage the program, and replacements will be performed by local contractors. If approved, a contractor will contact you to review and discuss the work to be performed, obtain your permission to perform the work, arrange for a pre-construction survey of the areas where your service line will be replaced, and finally, schedule the work. On that date, you will need to be present for approximately 4 hours while work is being performed. Work begins by digging around the vertical water pipe near your curb box, and a new copper line will be installed. In most cases, work can be done with trenchless technology, allowing a full replacement without the need to dig across the entire front lawn. In some limited cases, a narrow open trench may be required. Upon completion, the contractor will refill the trench with existing soil, but homeowners must replace grass, plants, and walkways. The city must repair public sidewalks and roadways. After work is done, an inspector must certify the work, which takes up to 30 minutes and occurs 1 to 2 weeks after construction. Instructions will be provided to you about flushing household plumbing, as lead levels may remain elevated for up to 6 months. Residents should continue using water filters during this time. For more information about the program and use of lead-safe water filters and cartridges, visit www.newarkleadserviceline.com or contact Newark's Department of Water and Sewer Utilities.
Thank you. So at this time, I'm going to reiterate that number again. If you have any questions, dial 855-756-7520. The conference number is 4793#. 855-756-7520. Conference number 4793#. That's if you have any questions that you'd like answered tonight. And don't forget, if you have any questions that you don't get answered tonight, feel free to call Water and Sewer Utilities at 973-733-6303. You can always visit the website at www.newarkleadserviceline.com, or you can contact them via email at waterandsewer@ci.newark.nj.us. So back to the Facebook questions. Natisha asked, are the local restaurants using filters also?
No. Most local restaurants have big service lines that feed them. Like at Popeyes or Iberia's or Kennedy Fried Chicken, no, most of those commercial establishments wouldn't be using a small diameter pipe.
And Darnell asks, I'm in the East Ward and would like to pick up a filter from the city. Is he eligible?
So one, Darnell would have to go on. First, Darnell, unless he had his water tested and he exceeded the 15 parts per billion, he wouldn't be eligible for a filter, right? That doesn't mean I want Darnell to go out there and do something and get a test and make it spike up to exceed 15 parts per billion to get a filter, right? But Darnell, if you have a lead service line, you should go on the leadserviceline.com, find out if you have a lead service line, or call us at 973-733-6303 and ask us to give them an inspection in a water test.
And we are changing lead service lines in the East Ward.
They should sign up to have
So
it replaced.
instead of trying to get a filter, you should be trying to get your entire lead service line replaced. As a number one thing. The first thing you should do is get your water tested for free. And if you have a lead service line anyway, you should be trying to get that replaced with the lead service line replacement program.
Yvette on Facebook asks, are you planning on supplying the East Ward with filters? Did I ask that question already?
Yes.
I apologize. Celeste asks, if we purchase the service line's warranty insurance as recommended by the city, is the replacement of our lead service line covered by this program?
If it's broken.
No, only if it's broken. If your water line breaks, the program is required to send someone out to replace it. Replace the entire line. Only if it breaks. Under the program that Newark has rolled out, you should sign up for the lead service line replacement program, and it's up to the owner to pay for their cost of the lead service line that's going to be replaced.
And how many phases of that lead service line replacement are there?
So it's 10 phases over 8 years. We're still enrolling people. We don't want you to wait to year 8. As you know, we're not sure if money may be around. The mayor acknowledged this early on. We don't know if money may be around for year 8, but we know there's money around now to do the current phases, and you should go on NorkLeadServiceLine.com and fill out that application, try to be in the earlier phases. Get your lead service line replaced.
Dorothy on Facebook asks, how do you confirm if you're on the list for the replacement service line?
So if you sent in the application, normally within 2 weeks we respond back to you and saying that we received your application. When it's time for the phase to start, we'll do another mailing. We reach out to you and do a mailing and let you know that you were accepted into phase 2, and we're looking at the date that we're looking to do construction for phase 2. So it's a notification process that happens.
So a Facebook user asks, can the water cause rashes if bathed or showered in?
Not from lead, right?
Not from, I haven't known that water would cause rashes or vapors from lead, but I'm gonna let Jerry Noddy come in and just.
Yeah, not to our knowledge. If you have hypersensitive skin, you should see a dermatologist about this, because in reality, if your skin is hypersensitive, you could have reactions to many things throughout your household. Oftentimes, water, the way we treat water, it's very innocuous in that sense. Even when there's lead in the water, that shouldn't in and of itself give you a rash. But there are people with hypersensitive skin conditions. You should see your dermatologist. Make sure about that you can identify what you're sensitive to, and if it, for some reason it is lead, well then you'll have your answer to your question. But typically, lead doesn't give you a skin reaction.
So Doreen stated she has a lead line and was refused a filter. What's your recommendation to
Where
her?
does she live?
So if Doreen has a lead service line and she may not be in an affected area, right? She may not be in an affected area, will be the only reason that she was refused a filter. right? Or Doreen didn't have ID or the proper identification when she came to pick up a filter. So because you say, hey, I live at 35 Johnson Avenue, we need to verify that, right? That you're the person that actually lives there.
So Doreen, go back with your ID. Make sure you also have proof of residency so that if you are actually affected, you can pick up your filter.
And she lives in a place with a lead service line.
Absolutely. So Willie from Facebook states, is it known what effect the inhibitor or any other solution introduced into the water has during the off hours? Is it known?
So, I'll take a stab at that. This was Willie. Willie,
Right.
throughout the United States, the #1 corrosion inhibitor that's utilized is an orthophosphate product. It's being used in the Wanakee system, but throughout the United States, it's being used pervasively because it is the most effective corrosion inhibitor out there. It's of a food grade, so that it's basically something that's indigenous to your system and shouldn't create any other problems, so you should not have any adverse effect by that, even in off hours. And I'm guessing your question is, as it sits in the lines, will that create any kind of problems? Phosphorus is, which is the base of this inhibitor, is probably one of the most available nutrients on this planet. It's in plants, it's in trees, it's in grasses. That's what orthophosphate is basically made of. It's a certain kind of phosphorus, but it's basically indigenous to our planet, so it's innocuous and will have very little effect on your system, whether it sits in the line or not.
Caller Mrs. Edgerton asks, what happens if you're unable to afford to have your service line replaced? What are the options?
Miss,
Edgerton.
so Miss Edgerton, you should sign up for the program. The city has a very generous payment option for you to pay for your lead service line to be replaced. And you're not paying for it up front, right? So the city's gonna come out, and when the phase ends, they'll notify you how much you're on the hook for, that they replace your line. And it won't exceed $1,000, it could be less. And they'll work out a very generous payment plan for you to have your lead service line replaced.
Thank you. Demita on Facebook asks, what does the city's new corrosion control do, and how does it affect residents?
So the city's new corrosion control does, it forms a coating, a layer into the lead pipe. We might have missed the video, but I guess we'll show it again before we end, hopefully. I'm not sure. But it coats the pipe, coats the lead, it coats the lead pipe, right? It prevents lead from leaching off of the lead pipe. That's what the new inhibitor does. We're looking to have it, we're out flushing, we're bringing it into the system, so within 6 to 8 months we should start seeing lead levels drop, and hopefully by the 8th month we should start seeing the system optimize. Just she asked something about effects or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, how does it
And
affect
Nadi just
residents?
So Jerry Nadi just answered it. I'll let him go into it again. It's a food grade additive, but
That's basically food grade additive. As I stated previously, it's probably the most abundant nutrient in our environment. It's the basis of most plant life, grasses, different things. It will have no adverse effect to your health or anything of that nature. And as I stated before, it's the most widely used corrosion inhibitor in the United States, frankly, the world right now.
And Anne Marie on Facebook asks, is it good to run the water for a few minutes before use in the morning?
yes, yes, just in general, it's good to not only run the water, but make sure you're changing your little aerator, the little screen that comes onto your sink. When I was little, my mother, grandmother, I remember going over their house, or even my own house, we run the water for a little, about maybe 30 seconds. Right,
Yeah.
that's the stagnant water that's in the pipe.
And if you have a lead service line and your house is affected, you should be using a filter.
Absolutely. So Rosa from Facebook asked, do I have to take any additional precautions with the new corrosion control measures? She has a young child, so she's concerned.
So Rose, the additional measures that you should be taking if you're in the affected area, you should be using a filter. And make sure you're using it at all times until we tell you you don't have to use a filter.
And Miss James on Facebook asks, how long will the corrosion control take to work?
So normally we should start seeing health effects effects of the lead inhibitor, lead levels dropping within 3 months. It can be different. Water chemistry is very complex. If she have a lead service line, it can take longer or shorter. So normally within 6 months, 6 to 8 months, we're looking for it to optimize. That's it.
Generally, you feed it. The reason it takes a while, you don't want to introduce a chemical at its highest dosage when you start out. You're trying to minimize the disruption and water quality impacts. Kareem Adeem spoke earlier about the potential of discoloration with flushing and different things of that nature. What you do is you introduce it slowly, low dosage, and you gradually increase it. And as you increase it over time, it starts building that coating, that protective coating in the pipeline, and it stops the lead from getting into your drinking water.
And Cheryl on Facebook wants to know why homeowners are responsible for this, and do homeowners own the pipes?
So in the city of Newark, it's unique. The homeowner owns the entire lead service line, lead pipe, copper pipe that feeds their property. So in the city of Newark, in the city of Newark owns the water main. So if you live on Broad Street, the city's water main runs north and south on Broad Street. If you live on Clinton Avenue, South Orange Avenue, Park Avenue, Chancellor Lyons Avenue, the city's water main runs east and west. So generally, any lateral line that comes off of those pipes belongs to the homeowner. That's why you're responsible for the pipe.
And another question from Facebook, will the corrosion control be effective in one part of the city before another?
We're not sure. Jerry Noddy spoke to that earlier. We introduced it in small doses, right? So, and we gradually increase it as we monitor it. So we're not going to say it's going to be effective in one area versus another. It's already effective in the East Ward, if that's what they mean. We know it's working in the parts of the north, parts of the south, central, and the entire east. Now we're just introducing it into the remaining parts of the north, south, and the central, and the entire west.
Depending on the flow of the water in your specific area, water moves differently throughout the city, depending on how it's being utilized. Some areas use more water for whatever reason. They have industrial users and things of that nature. So the inhibitor may move to those areas more quickly and passivate or put a coating on that pipe more quickly. It's also due to dosage, us ramping up the dosage. So there may be pockets of the city that have a quick reaction to it, and others may take a little longer. But over that 6 to 8 month period, eventually you'll get coating throughout the city on all the pipe areas.
That's a good question.
So Deborah asked or mentioned she had an appointment on May 3rd at 4:30 p.m. for the replacement of her lead service line, but did not get home from a funeral in time. She left a message on the contractor's answering machine today. What shall she do?
So you left one today?
Yes.
So she left one today. Ms. Deborah, you can reach out to me at 973-733-6303. 973-733-6303, or just email me at water and sewer, one word, water and sewer, at ci.north.nj.us, just to verify the contractor can reschedule you for a time permitting when you can be home.
Who they asking to speak to, though?
You should, the email, or you can ask to speak to anyone anyone in the office that answer the phone can help you.
And
Calling or the email, any one of us.
a little earlier, you mentioned that for the lead service replacement line program, it's going to be done 10 phases over 8 years.
Yes.
How many people or residents or homes are actually serviced in each phase?
1,500 homes per phase.
And Yolanda on Facebook has a question. Do we still need to use the filters after your lead service line has been replaced or the corrosion control optimizes?
Yes. So after we replace your lead service line, right, you may still want to use the filter. We give you instructions. I don't have one of them in front of me right now, but we give you instructions to continue to use your filter and when you can remove your filter. And after the corrosion control comes in, if you didn't have your line replaced, you should continue to use it until the city notifies you later on that it is optimized and levels have been reduced.
Cool. At this time, I'd like to thank everybody who's currently on the phone, watching live on Facebook, also even on cable, whether you're on Fios 28 or LT 78. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, if you do have a question, you can dial in. The number is 855-756-7520 with the conference number of 47930 pound. Again, the conference number is 47930 pound. We have about 3 more minutes to answer questions before we have the final words. Director Adeem, can you let us know how we would apply for the lead service line replacement program?
So you can go on our website at newarkleadserviceline.com, newarkleadserviceline.com. You can stroll up to registration. You can click that and you can fill it out in real time and send it. It sends it right back. We did mailings recently with the PE documents, which you should know about lead. If you forgot, you can look on that informational brochure and get other. You can call us at 973-733-6303 and we can help you out. Or you can email us at waterandsewer, one word, .ci.north.nj.us.
So are people not able to come to City Hall to apply?
Yes, when you come to pay your water bill or you're coming to pay a tax bill, you want to come to City Hall, you can come in and you can pick up a form, you can fill it out, or someone can help you on the computer and register you right on site.
What office is that in City Hall?
Room 117, Billing and Customer Service. Or you can come to the director's office at B31.
And also, for those individuals who still have not picked up water filters or replacement cartridges, where should they go or who do they contact regarding that?
So you can go to all of our recreation centers. That's going to be Baldwin Street Recreation Center on South Orange Avenue, JFK Recreation Center at 211 West Kenny, Vince Lombardi Centers of Hope, 201 Bloomfield Avenue, St. Peter's, a.k.a. Bo Porter, 279 Lyons Avenue, Hayes West, 179 Boyd Street. And you can pick up water filters at the recreation centers Tuesday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Health Department, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. 110 William Street, that's the Health Department, 8:30 to 4:30 p.m., 110 William Street. At 239 Central Avenue, the Water Department, Central Maintenance Office, we open a little late, people getting off work late. We open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Sunday.
Wonderful. And how do you know if you are confirmed to have your lead service line replaced if you've submitted the paperwork but have not received anything?
So I noticed that lately, since we started the lead service replacement program, everybody has rushed to sign up. And that's great. We welcome you. We want you to keep signing up. But it doesn't mean that you're in the current phase that we're working in now. So you're not in that current phase that we're out there doing the construction now. You're in a later phase. We'll notify you. We're looking to start that next phase in the 3rd quarter. So we'll notify you by mail that you're in that phase 2. And we'll certify that you're in phase 2. And we'll give you a date as when phase 2 is about to start.
What's the third quarter?
And it's like the third quarter.
But what is that?
The third quarter is September. The third quarter starts in late third quarter will be August, September, and October. Like the late third quarter. Although October rolls into the fourth quarter,
Yeah.
we're looking like third quarter.
So we received this question earlier in the broadcast, so to speak, and for those latecomers, can you just explain specifically what the corrosion control is and how the new inhibitor being placed into the water will affect the residents?
Okay, sure. So the corrosion inhibitor is something called orthophosphate, and that corrosion inhibitor is a food grade based chemical. It's added to the system. Currently, what's starting to happen, because the city's approved by the state DEP corrosion inhibitor is no longer effective. So we're adding orthophosphate. It'll be added slowly to the system. So what it'll start to do is coat the inside of the pipe and disallow any of the lead to get into the drinking water. Typically, it takes between anywhere from 3 to 8 months to become totally effective and get out through the entire system. The initial phase of this, we put a low dosage of orthophosphate to make sure we add it slowly so there aren't any water quality issues like discoloration if they can be avoided. So that it's added slowly so it starts forming that protective coating, and that's why in a short run, perhaps in the next sampling period, the lead levels will still be high for a while, but over a period of 6 to 9 months, 6 to 8 months, that coating will establish itself and protect you from lead in your drinking water.
Thank you, Mr. Nadi. So at this time, I just want to thank my panel of experts for coming and bestowing this useful information to myself as well as the viewing public, the hearing public. And do you have any closing remarks, anything you want to say prior to the live broadcast ending?
I just want to say that the city is still actively giving out free water filters, free water replacement cartridges. We're still doing free lead service line inspections. We're still doing free lead water testing. And we're still signing people up to enter into the lead service line replacement program.
Right.
So I just want to say you can reach us you can go on NewarkLeadServiceLine.com to sign up for the lead service line replacement program. You can contact the Department of Water and Sewer at 973-733-6303, 973-733-6303, or email us at waterandsewer, one word, at ci.newark.nj.us to get the free lead service line inspection or water test. And the third one is, if you didn't pick up your filter, and we left a notice that you're eligible for a filter, you should pick up a filter at one of the recreation centers that's open between Tuesday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., or you can visit the health department Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30, 110 William Street, or you can come over to the water department. You can pick it up a little earlier, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Sunday.
Wonderful. And I also want to add that if anybody's interested in getting tested for lead, they can reach out to the Department of Health and Community Wellness at 973-733-5323, which is lead. So it's 973-733-lead. And it's 8 o'clock. I do appreciate everybody tuning in. I look forward to more communication, and I hope that this proved beneficial and you learned a lot. Thank you so much. Have a good night.